Hey, it's really great to have you here. My name is Daniel and I'm a professional opera singer. I have performed nationally and internationally in both operas and competitions. And today we're going to be reacting to Dimash Qudaibergen. I could be butchering that name, but I apologize if I am. I have heard nothing about this artist, absolutely nothing. I haven't even heard of the name. So this will be a really unique and interesting experience for me. I hear glowing reviews about this artist. So if you're excited, I'm excited. Let's just jump into it.
Pourquoi je vis, pourquoi je meurs, pourquoi je ris, pourquoi je pleure. Voici le SOS d'un derrière en détresse. J'ai jamais eu que sur toi. Je me prends très beau sang. Je suis le nom de ma peau. Je t'ai voulu nous dans la voix. Sans jamais s'attraper. Je toujours confondais la vie avec nos bandes dessinées. Chacun de son fil, tu métamorphoses. Je sens quelque chose qui m'attire, qui m'attire. Oh yeah.
Ooh!
Pourquoi je vis, pourquoi je meurs, pourquoi je ris, pourquoi je pleure.
Wow. There's a lot to unpack there. In the beginning, I was a little thrown off because typically when you have an artist who's just so breathy and just really whispering that it's actually a sign of lack of support, that you're not actually vocalizing your breath. It's not actually resonating, so it's just coming out as air, and it's constrained air. It's getting lost in your larynx. But it felt like that was more of a ruse, where he just starts off in this floaty cloud dream state, and then he just... What I just listened to is indescribable. Let's just jump into the analysis. I can't conceptualize what it is that I need to say without actually taking it piece by piece. That was just unreal.
Pourquoi je vis, pourquoi je meurs.
Yeah, just at the tail end of his phrases, it's no longer being vocalized. It's just like, and you just get this kind of constrained breath. And I'd be tasting a lie if I said that it's not jarring to hear. Just from a classical perspective, one of the first things that you're told in studying the voice is that whispering is one of the worst things you can do for your voice. I'd honestly put it on the same level, if not higher, than yelling, unsupported, of course. It's just so damaging because you're not vocalizing anything. It's just breath that's kind of not just drying out your airways, but it's just not producing anything. When you sing, your vocal cords are vibrating because you're vocalizing. And if you're not vocalizing, then they're not vibrating, but air is still passing through, and that's actually damaging the cords themselves. So if you ever hear someone being on vocal rest and they're whispering, it's just the wrong thing to do. They're destroying themselves instead of preserving themselves. So hearing this intro, it's a little bizarre and jarring, but it's also actually kind of perfect, because as someone who's never been exposed to this artist, you really just don't know what to expect from that. It's just, you're just not given much. It's this really soft, lovely tone, but just this really breathy tone, and there's not much you can really extrapolate from it. So it's yeah. Plus the stage is beautiful, and the artists, the instrumentalists are amazing. Yeah, I like that a little bit more, where he went from this pianissimo, this very soft tone, to this mezzo piano, or medium softness, this medium light, and he's actually still singing in his falsetto, this whatever he's singing. It's just very light, very much in his falsetto, even though it's very chilling. And this stage, this screen, is very beautiful in terms of not just its visual eye candy, but the blue, I think, is really apt for the type of tone that they're setting, because it is very cool. It is a chilling sensation almost, so very apt in that regard, and it just completely immerses you in this music. Yeah, that's very like jarring for sure, but it's also so unique, just in the sense of, when you usually sing a piece, you set the tone at the beginning and you have an idea as to what to expect throughout the piece. There might be surprises and hidden gems within it, of course, but you typically have an understanding of, this is the timbre, this is the tone, this is what you're going to expect throughout the piece. So when you get this really light, airy, falsetto-y head voice kind of introduction, to immediately hear this, to hear that more robust chest voice come through, especially one that's more of a baritone, not even a tenor's, it's quite bizarre, but in the most dazzling of ways. Yeah, let's continue. That's a nice transition too. Yeah, and that I don't even know if I can hit those notes. Yeah, I that's probably the highest I can go. He's just touching them. It's so light, and I'm starting to understand why his beginning was so soft and so delicate that it couldn't even be vocalized, because now he's touching these incredibly high notes, especially for the male voice. And this entire piece so far has just been so delicate. It's like handling a piece of fine china. You're just holding it. It feels like this is exactly what I always want from an artist on stage, 100% of the time, where the moment they're on stage, what they're doing is they're taking all of their experience, all of their wisdom, all of their practice and dedicated effort, arduous effort, and putting all of that into their heart, and then taking their heart and presenting it to you, the audience. There's no feeling of awkwardness or discomfort because they didn't practice. There's no feeling of, oh, well, this was unexpected and I don't know what to do now. This was all planned. This is, there's a feeling of immense power coming from this delicate and palpable atmosphere. And his vocal style is ineffable, honestly. I love this. Just gonna comment on something really quick. When he had his hand up there, so this is something that you'll hear a lot of musicians talk about, or a lot of classically trained musicians talk about in terms of the voice, and that's body tension. Oftentimes, when an artist is performing, you'll hear a classical vocalist comment on perhaps tongue tension or throat tension. Body tension is also a real thing, even though it's not directly tied with the voice, it affects the overall sound of your voice. So when you have your arm up, even if it's relaxed, or especially if it's clenched, but even if it's relaxed, you're having a lot of tension in your body, which can constrain the amount of breath you have, which can constrain your vocal folds and how much they open or vibrate depending on what you're singing. And you can tell he's just sweating. He's just schwitzing on that stage. I don't know how long he was performing on this stage. I don't know how harsh the lights are on him, but you can tell he's just putting everything into this. And to still create this level of delicacy and still have this relaxed kind of body, even though personally I would say, go ahead and put down your arm and just keep the microphone close to you, just with that one arm. Have as little tension in your body as possible so you can actually keep your voice as robust as possible. It's no secret that he's obviously not just a musician, but a performer. He's captivating you with not just his voice, but with his bodily expression. And therefore, putting his arm up, it's almost like he's holding it to his chest in a way. And just, I'm not going to be critical of his body tension or anything like that, just to be aware of it. But man, yeah, he's a great showman. For sure. It's just this beautiful cadence that just perfectly showcases a sample of his total range, and it's just so seamless from his chest voice to his head voice to his falsetto. It's just magnificent. I'm not even gonna try that. That I want to try. Damn. I don't know if I did that as well as he did, but yeah, to be able to do that it takes an immense amount of comfort with your own natural vibrato while being able to fully resonate your falsetto and vocalize it. Not just keep it breathy like it was in the beginning, but give it so much power. Expand your diaphragm. Let it resonate as much as possible like you resonate your chest voice. And just create this huge open space. So this open awe he's doing is just filling the entire venue. It's magnificent. Like, even that mic pull away, that's incredible showmanship, because you feel that. You, like, just that rip. You just feel the rip. And it's all psychological in that regard, but this is what music is capable of. Not just the music, but the performance, the performer. He is an incredible showman and musician, of course. Yeah, and at the beginning you have this kind of soft style technique, and then you get into more classical style, and now we're getting into more of a pop style, where you start off in this very gentle vocal fry, and yeah, just the beginning of those phrases, you get more of that. It's not pop music by any means. It's still encompassed in this really grand and delicate atmosphere that he's created. But you can tell these different vocal styles just all concatenating together into something blissful. That's something that a lot of vocalists don't talk about enough, and I'm going to do it now. When you have a repeating word or a repeating phrase, you do something, anything, to the remaining phrases. You say something once. Yes. Like, if I were to say something like, here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am, you know, you just feel this gradual power behind it. Or even if you were to do it in its reverse, here I am, here I am, here I am. You can just feel this dichotomy of control, of, well, who's really in control? How does the flow of emotion deeply affect you, the listener, the audience? Even though it wasn't like as histrionic as it could be, and I don't want it to be in this regard, because what he did in terms of its not grand or aggrandized form of growing that same phrase, but rather just doing it in small increments, but you can tell the difference in them. That's really expertly done, and definitely specifically chosen that he did, because now he's about to go into something extraordinary, I'm sure. Oh, you just feel that. You just feel that in your bones. It's just... Oh, he's just carrying you. He's... It just... I'm listening to that again. Back into his chest voice. Amazing. Like, look at those instrumentalists. Like you see them actually doing their own movement because they're feeling this music. They're the showmans too, even though the focus isn't even on them. You can hardly even see them if you're in the audience. It really shows you that the musicians are really feeling this too. You can really feel this kind of music in your bones. It's incredible. I can't. It's honestly ineffable. Like, he's probably keeping his hand there for pitch control. It's more of a psychological thing. You'll see a lot of beatboxers do this too with their hands and just do whatever they're doing with their hands in order to keep time and to give an idea as to what it is that they're feeling through gestures. And this is more of his sense of control in the midst of all this chaos that and beauty that he's created in this palpable in his own palpable aura. Yeah, and then you just go, and I know I stopped it on like this his really high note, and I'm sorry. I'll get into that in a second. But the moment you go into this like light head voice and then this really robust classical, yeah, it's so powerful, and it creates such a heavy hitting beat, and it just hits your soul, you know. I really can't explain it. It is ineffable. Yeah, and then you have this... No, I can't go that high. But he's just at the forefront of his range, the very highest it will go. He's squeaking out that note and allowing it to fall. It's not... I want to hear it again. That is also really well supported. That note right there, incredible. Yeah, and then that highest note might not be the most supported, but in terms of what it does for the music, it completes the piece. It shows how incredibly impactful that particular choice was, that note was. Because he doesn't just scream that note. That note is graced, and it grows, and then it tapers while sliding down until it just fades out. Like, listen to that again. And that echo chamber, just to kind of really set into you that, yeah, this just happened. How do you feel? And you need that moment. You need to assess how you feel, which is why there's nothing here. Beautifully written music. And the visuals are so captivating. He's giving his all on the stage, and I love that from an artist. Yeah, and like just this huge range is like that belt. You don't hear a lot of belting in classical music. Like, it's such a bright vowel, which you don't hear a lot in classical music. Usually it's very rounded, almost dark, unless the language calls for a bright vowel. But yeah, I can't belt that well. I'm very much in tune with classical music. But oh my gosh, it's just magic. His belt is just, it's so good. Yeah. All those trills down, or not. That arpeggio going down. Oh my gosh, it's so accurate and and legato, but lovely, and the heaviness of his orchestra behind him, or his band, like it's. And then back to this intro breath. And it's just so controlled though. And he just tapers out. That was remarkable. It really was. I don't think I've ever heard a vocalist have that kind of range in their voice and such incredible control. I've heard that level of control, but not at the range it has. And to mix different styles of classical and pop and musical theater and to have all of these different types of vocal techniques just incorporated in this singular masterpiece. 22 million views on that video. Man, it deserves more. How incredible. I mean, I can only say so much about it, you know, that kind of voice is beyond me. But thank you so much for introducing me to that artist. Wow, that was just chilling. I really appreciate you being here for this video. It means a lot to me that you guys are here watching these and enjoying them and giving me your feedback and giving me new things to experience, new artists to experience, and thank you. I really appreciate all of you being here, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Have a great evening, everyone.